So just a small disclaimer about me. I'm the son of two ministers. My dad comes out of the Methodist church. My mom comes out of the Baptist church. That's significant because as a Methodist, usually they're in church at 11 o'clock, but they're out by 11:35. That's to say, I'm going to give you some good information in under 20 minutes. Now, on the Baptist side, I would not be correct in following correct protocol if I did not give this a title. So if you would indulge me for a few moments, I would like to call this the journey from Hobart to Harlem. From Hobart to Harlem. So when I was a child, I suffered from a speech impediment, a stutter so bad that I could not even pronounce my own last name. So imagine a kid in elementary school, the teacher calls on you and you can't even pronounce your name. So it was a little tough. So those experiences caused me to want to shut myself off. I didn't want to speak. I became introverted. I sort of created a cocoon and, I just didn't speak. But music was the way I could express myself without saying anything at all. I could go sit down at the piano and just play, and you could tell how Glenn was playing or how he was feeling. I could stand on the podium, much like this, and stand and wave my arms in front of people without saying a word, and they would understand what it is that I'm doing. So I could do this, and they know what that means, or I could do this, and they know what that means without saying anything at all. Music was the gateway to me expressing myself without saying anything at all. So fast forward a few years, so now I'm here at Prairie View A&M University as a music major. So something about music majors is that it's a full-time job. So on top of your regular coursework, you have to perform and you have to practice and make sure that everything goes in excellence. So I was blessed to have a really, really great teacher, Dr. Vicky Selden, who did not allow anything under excellence. We would have weekly private lessons, and those lessons were more than just learning how to play the Beethovens or the Bartoks or perfecting technique. She also gave me a lot of life lessons. And it wasn't just Dr. Vicky Selden, it was also Dr. Ajan Taylor, who gave me my first opportunity to conduct. So to her, I'm forever indebted. Not only Dr. Selden, not only Dr. Taylor, but also Dr. John Cornelius, who constantly stayed on my case. And he showed me, man, that this music industry is tough, it's competitive, it's dog eat dog, but they saw the potential in me. So let's pause there parenthetically. Sometimes in life, and I promise y'all this is not deep, sometimes in life you will go through things. Sometimes in life it will get hard, but it's very important to have a viable support system. I was very blessed and fortunate to have that here at Prairie View A&M University. They believed in me when I did not believe in myself. And it was those experiences here at Hobart, which is just a few steps that way, that prepared me for the life to come. Now looking in hindsight, I understand why they were on my case all the time. I understand why they made me practice. I stayed in Hobart. Sometimes I would spend the night in there because nothing less than perfection could come from me. So now let's fast forward. It's time to go off to graduate school. So I decide I want to go into orchestral conducting. So here's a little something about getting into grad school for music. It's a very, very tedious process. So you have to do what's called a pre-screening video. So that's a video audition to get an in-person audition, which gets you into the school. So again, there's a pre-screening video, so an audition to get an audition to get into the school. But I had a dilemma, right? So in order for you to pre-screen, you have to send a video of whatever it is that you're applying for. Now again, I want to go for orchestral conducting. So my dilemma was there was no orchestra. There is no orchestra here at Prairie View A&M University. So that means I was faced with a dilemma. Again, let's pause there parenthetically, and I promise you this is not deep. Sometimes in life, life will give you lemons. Sometimes in life, you will be faced with some sort of trial or adversity. But what matters is how you deal with those lemons and how you deal with those adversities. Me personally, I turn those lemons into my favorite beverage, a Long Island iced tea. That's to say, I reached out to orchestras across Texas and Louisiana. Three orchestras said, yes, you can come and get you some footage. And that's how I got into grad school. So I get my footage and it's time to give off the pre-screening stuff. And so, I'm hyped because I have my footage now. I'm about to apply. I've applied to all the big schools. I applied to my backup schools and, I'm ready. So I applied to about 6 schools, right? So I apply. The first school I heard from was actually my safety school. So I just knew that I got into my safety school. So I opened up the email, long story short, they was like, nah. The second one comes, nah. The third one comes, guess what? Nah. That one kind of stung a little bit because that third letter actually came on my fraternity's Founders Day. So I was a little sour about that. The fourth one comes, nope. The fifth one comes. I ain't getting to that one either. So at this point, I'm defeated. You mean to tell me I took all this time trying to get this stuff done and these people tell me no? So it broke me down. It made me want to quit. It made me just want to say, I can't do this. Let's pause there parenthetically again. Sometimes in life, it will throw you curveballs. Maya Angelou said, you may encounter defeat, but you must not be defeated. Sometimes we throw in the towel a little too early, right before we cross that threshold. Now, easily, I could have said, maybe I should do what people said I should do. Maybe I should just become a teacher, or maybe I should just, just play the piano and be happy. But I said, no, I ain't gonna do that. So, maybe I have to sit out a year, but at least I'm gonna do it. So the 6th letter comes and I just know that it's going to say no because my safety school said no, all the other schools said no. So I might as well, not open it. So I waited a week. I opened it. They said yes. A music conservatory in New York said yes. My prayer was just, God, if you allow me one opportunity, I promise you that I will capitalize on it. And that's what happened. So now it's time to go to New York. This little black boy from Port Arthur, Texas, an HBCU grad, going to New York to study classical music. What? So now it's time to go off to New York and start grad school. And now I'm in this foreign place, away from my home, away from my family. I don't know anyone. No one knows me. The demographic is completely different from where I was at my HBCU. And it was a little intimidating at first because I didn't feel like I belonged. Why? Because all of these famous faculty who perform with the New York Philharmonic, who perform with the Philadelphia Orchestra, who does opera with the Metropolitan Opera, who is the #1 opera house in America. I'm sitting in the same seats as graduates from the Juilliard School, from the Oberlin Conservatory, from the Manhattan School of Music, where I attend now, actually, slight flex. And so at first, I felt like I didn't belong here because I'm in the presence of all these greats. But what I had to realize is, guess what? Y'all got an HBCU grad up in here, too. Let's pause there parenthetically. Sometimes we have to remember who we are. So I'm here in grad school, and I'm conducting, and I'm doing work in New York City every weekend. I'm a church musician as well, so I'm doing that. I'm producing, I'm arranging, I'm composing, like all of these things. And then I always think back to, I almost gave up. Nah, it's perseverance over here. So graduate school ends, and then I end up at the Manhattan School of Music. And everything leading up to that, I almost gave up before that too. So I almost missed the train coming into to the city to get to the audition. The day of the audition, I forget my shoes, my pants rip, and my conducting baton breaks in half. So to me, there is no way that this audition can go right. So I called my mom crying. I said, I can't do it. And she told me something so very profound. She said, Glenn, the reason why these things are happening is because something great is getting ready to happen. And at first I thought, she's just being pastor mom, but she was actually really right. I auditioned, get into the school, get a scholarship. Now I'm at the Manhattan School of Music. Like, the building was actually the original Juilliard, so you could only imagine the greatness that have passed the hallways that I'm like passing through now. Not only getting into the Manhattan School of Music, but also winning a conducting scholarship with the Chicago Sinfonietta. A little black boy from Port Arthur, Texas, a HBCU grad, not only at the Manhattan School of Music, not only doing the Chicago Sinfonietta, but also traveling, playing for artists, producing, composing, arranging, doing interviews, magazine articles, TV stuff. Like, it's mind-blowing. But it's all about perseverance. And to you, whoever you are, I'm coming here to tell you that the dream is possible, the dream is attainable, the dream is tangible. Why? Because I'm doing it. But the thing is, you have to persevere. One thing that I learned from being in the mortuary science, apart from knowing how much embalming fluid goes inside of you, is that life is short. And that each moment you have to not take it for granted. So that's why I said every time I get up to conduct, every time I get up to play for an artist or do anything, I'm gonna do it like it's my last time. It's a journey. If I can do it, you can do it. Thank you.